Here comes another Setons mid fight. Two extremely good players. We got TnukSmasher3000. You can see he's going with the 2 mass extractors factory. He's going to send NGs to the Hydro. That's the standard. And against him we got MisterWhite, who's going factory, and then he's running to the middle without building anything. So a lot more aggressive. See, they're both Seraphim. So MisterWhite used to do the NG. Oh, he's doing that again. But this time he does it with ACU. But about 2009 he used to do the NGPD in the middle, which was very effective. Now you can see he's going his second NG. He's going to the middle to get the Hydro and the power. And he's got two, well, he's got his first engine going to the middle, getting some mass. And his ACU is going to build a PD. It might be very dangerous to try to get that PD against TnukSmasher3000, who's going to get up to the middle very quickly. Each one of these mass extractors takes about 7 seconds to build, so TnukSmasher3000 is going to have about 14, or MisterWhite's going to have about 14 extra seconds in the middle between before TnukSmasher3000 gets there. You can see a whole bunch of power. It's at 4 different NGs. And notice how the NGs are positioned so they don't have to move when they build that power so very quickly. Nice micro on those NGs. You can see it's 3 for MisterWhite. And now we've already seen some factories planned for MisterWhite. Coming up on minute 3. You can see this PD is halfway done. Now TnukSmasher3000 realizes there's a PD and begins attacking. You saw the overcharge. So the overcharge is really, you saw the second overcharge is the counter to the PD. And you can see how MisterWhite's getting in the way. You see 3 overcharges and the PD is dead. So really well done from TnukSmasher3000. This is something you could not do in 3603, and that PD would be still alive, getting TnukSmasher3000 in a lot of trouble, because at 4 minutes it's hard to have a power storage. So nice counter from MisterWhite, or from TnukSmasher3000, but MisterWhite's still going to get a lot of mass here, and there is an RD attacking TnukSmasher3000, so as long as TnukSmasher3000 isn't moving, it gets hit. And an NG from was alive for a little while. See scouts from Carlos and some tanks from TnukSmasher3000 taking out the Artie. Some really nice tanks here, 3 kills. TnukSmasher3000 quite low on health, but MisterWhite is as well. So then another NG from TnukSmasher3000 getting all that mass, plus a radar, multiple radars for TnukSmasher3000, and a very adventurous NG from MisterWhite. So now coming up in minute 6, MisterWhite has 7.2 thousand, TnukSmasher3000 got 7,000, so very even for these two players. One difference we see, it's NGs for TnukSmasher3000 and a whole bunch of RD and tanks for MisterWhite. At this stage, you can see a lot of paused NGs and factories from TnukSmasher3000. He does have 4 T2 mass extractors, and factory still being built for MisterWhite. He also has 4 T2 mass extractors. Now TnukSmasher3000 is in the water, pretty low health, and MisterWhite is going to attempt to chase him down. Can't shoot underwater, but nice to know where your opponent is so you can target. Absolutely no subs from Pommel yet, and obviously the superior force from MisterWhite is going to keep rolling through. A small trickle of units now coming in for TnukSmasher3000, and TnukSmasher3000 is going to get a torpedo launcher in the middle. MisterWhite, no upgrades for either player here. Is going to start rolling through. You can see pretty nice early domination from MisterWhite. Need more factories for TnukSmasher3000, and he's got a really nice retreat. This is really what you have to do if somebody rushes you like this. Just retreat, build up a nice force, and then counter and collect all the mass that's going to be left over
Of course, if your ACU is at really low health in the ocean, an ACU going into your base is a very hard thing to counter. You can already see 9 kills for MisterWhite. I see Mercy's coming in from Carlos now, so this is the dangerous thing to have when you're doing something like this. If you don't have a nice T1 air coverage or some flak with you, these Mercies are pretty deadly. And you can see a lot of tanks here from purely tanks from TnukSmasher. This is the best defensive unit, since they're going to be very good against the Arty from MisterWhite. So 19 kills. We see another Mercy coming in. So 2 Mercies against MisterWhite now. And T1 air is completely dominated. We see some T1 air from Pommel that has just taken out the 3rd Mercy, giving MisterWhite a little more time. Now MisterWhite has to retreat, so TnukSmasher lost the 4 T1 mass extractors, but he's going to have a lot of mastery claim. You see the 4th Mercy coming in now. Also see T1 bombers from the side from no pulse. So really good ally support for TnukSmasher in this one. You can see another Mercy. This is the 4th Mercy. MisterWhite went down to 90. Actually see TnukSmasher here getting hit by Arty, and there goes MisterWhite. So 3 Mercies plus some T1 bombers. It's a little too much for MisterWhite. And TnukSmasher was getting hit by Arty from the top. Had to stop his upgrade. So that's the fight. 10 minutes. MisterWhite did really well, but his allies saved him.